Let's check out the highlights of this insane event. The Billabong Rio Pro just finishing a few minutes ago. Highlight reel will start with the quarterfinals from the final day. Kelly Slater was on deck to surf against Adriano de Souza. We couldn't wait to get this thing started.
Adriano de Souza brought his A game on the final day, opened up with a fantastic ride and really showing some variation. That end section turn, beautiful.
Then Kelly started working after a little left-hander, 417, because he couldn't really come around the corner with that section coming down on him. Kept waiting for Kelly to turn into that magical performance he's had all week, but it never really happened.
A little wave starved in the heat. Kelly Slater and Adriano de Souza swooped on the opportunity to get a win over the 11-time world champion.
Clean connections there through the flats for Adriano de Souza, and then this was the opportunity for Kelly to come back. Got a 7-5 for making that tube ride. Got a carve on this inside corner, but still wasn't enough to take the win.
No, it wasn't, and Adriano de Souza powered on through. Had the hometown support too, and had a big old cheer as they celebrated his win and moved through to the semis.
Interesting matchup in quarter number 2 with a little priority confusion. Ace Buchan stuck to his bank down the beach and got a couple of great tubes. 8-point ride for this one.
Big start for Ace Buchan, but Medina, he just fought back so well, didn't he? Got himself a 10-point ride, took to the sky, big air there, and the judges dropped the big score really quickly.
Well, you know the barrel was good, but then look at the air on the loft. So much height, covering so much ground. It was an easy, perfect 10, and then Ace but kept battling back and got a 6-point ride here.
Yeah, nice little pit here from Ace. Didn't get the end section turn and was still chasing a big score coming into the final stages, but then this happened.
This was the priority moment. Ace thought he had priority, hit it off the top. Gabriel thought he had priority, so took it off him there. The confusion went to the beach, and they had a big meeting with contest officials. There's a moment where we thought we'd have a resurf, but it still ended up going Medina's way.
It did, and unfortunately for Ace there, but still his best ever finish in Brazil, making the quarterfinals. But Medina just powered on through, too strong.
A lot of speed, and he got another reverse before this one came to a close, and that set up a dream matchup with Gabriel Medina taking on Adriano de Souza in that first semi-final of the day. The next quarter, though, was solid. Mick Fanning hit the lineup.
Look, Mick Fanning turned up today, and I thought, wow, he could go all the way. Looked really sharp in his clash with Sebastian Zietz here.
And then he got a 6-point ride on his forehand, clean exit of the tube, big wrapping carve in the pocket. A lot of the heats that Mick had, the surf went a little bit inconsistent and small, and he kept adapting to take smaller waves to get the scores he needed.
Sebastian Zietz got himself back in the heat with this ride. Loved the end section hit. He was super explosive and on all his finishing turns throughout the contest, but Mick, too strong, his best wave.
And right here, the 5.97, he floats it off the roof. Then watch how dynamic he is through some troubling parts of the wave. It slowed up a bit, and then he just jams it off the top, looking pretty fierce, and even throws up a little different turn for a finish. Changed ups every time, gave Mick the win into the semifinals.
Felipe Toledo and Jordy Smith in quarterfinal number 4. If Jordy was going to trip up anywhere, I thought it might have been in this heat, but Felipe just couldn't find the rhythm that he had in the earlier rounds. Jordy Smith, he found himself some deep barrels.
Oh, he was so deep on that one. 8.93, traveled such a long distance. That was a crucial wave there. His backup wasn't bad either. 6.37 for this one.
Great little pit, and just one guy that did a really good job of exiting out of these punchy little barrels throughout the whole event. Not easy to do.
And then Felipe tried to answer back. It wasn't the kind of alley-oop that we'd seen in the previous round, so the judges kept him honest and gave him a 6.67, and he tried again here, got a little more out of this wave.
Yeah, this alley-oop was a lot stronger, but just wasn't able to get a really big finish here that he wanted. Incomplete, that last move.
And then Jordy back out it. You see the wind picking up on this one. He used it to his advantage, did that classic air reverse with the front side grab, and was able to take the win and eliminate one of the local favorites in Felipe Toledo, which set up a big matchup in semifinal number 2. Semifinals time, things kicked off in a big way with 2 Brazilians entering the lineup.
Yeah, loved this matchup on paper, incredible, and didn't it live up to all expectation. Gabriel Medina getting started early with a great backside air reverse.
Then Adriano started hunting back. He got his moment for the slob reverse, 7.17 for that one maneuver section, and started the battle, continued. Then Gabriel Medina went for the sky.
Oh, this thing was pretty crazy. We saw a lot of backside air reverses from Gabriel in this heat though, and de Souza just kept mixing things up.
Little jams here, 7.13 for this 2-turn combo. Actually kept him out of first. He still needed another wave as Adriano was still fighting back to try to get into the lead. And this was the big moment for Medina.
This is the air. This was the best one that he did probably throughout the entire event, getting super inverted, Really bizarre landing, kind of coming down tail first, but just able to maintain control and rode on out.
And this was the wave that did it for De Souza. He was able to spin and whip that board around on that punt. He kind of shocked himself, I think, on the landing or how quickly that tail went around. And 887 gave him the lead, but Medina had one more chance to try to fight back here.
He did, and he went to his backside air reverse. It's a strong move for him, but on this occasion, not quite enough height, and it just fell a little short.
The judge has seen a lot of these, and right there, just one backside reverse maneuver, nice and clean, but Adriano De Souza got Medina again and moved on to be our first finalist here at the Billabong Rio Pro. Second semifinal was one to watch.
Mick Fanning, he went to get the quick start on his rival in this one, Jordy Smith, but just took a couple of falls in the early stages and just couldn't really recover.
Kept trying to hack his way into little air sections, but he kept going down. And right here, he got a 4.83 for this little backsider again, but still wasn't finding that same kind of mojo he had in the previous rounds.
Jordy Smith was a little bit more selective, put himself on the best waves and got the best turns done. And as a result, collected a couple of decent scores in the 7-point range to get the win.
Even this one right here, this was just a 4-ranger, 4.27 for this one as he popped this one off the top, but he had so much control on the rights, using this air wind to his advantage. Nice little nose pick reverse into the flats. He was able to eliminate two-time world champ Mick Fanning and get a spot into the final.
And what a final it was. Great matchup. Two of the form surfers of the 2013 season battling it out for a win in front of a huge crowd.
Well, we had Jordy start off selective, and just like Adriano, he started running around the lineup, started building some momentum. A 4.67 for that ride, but he started heating up a bit.
He sure did. Adriano De Souza, so solid on the backhand. Have a look at this ride. Just a drifting backhand snap into a float. Lightning fast and a solid finish.
And coming all the way through this inside corner, loves the reform. 617 for this wave. Meanwhile, Jordy hadn't taken a wave yet. Now his turn to get a strike on the board.
He went looking for serious waves and big ramps. Found one here and planted a nice little air reverse on the end section.
733, little bow, changing up the claims, and then De Souza quickly answers back. Nice pop off the top, stomps the landing, and went for one more on the inside corner.
Underrated above the lip, Adriano De Souza, especially with those frontside air reverses. He planted a couple of really solid ones throughout the event and even nailed a few in the final.
And then things opened up. The stalefish attempt from Jordy Smith went well. Spins it around, gets to the inside, jams it off the top, and then stomps the float for a nice and clean 8.50.
Love that ride. Yeah, just great variation and really stylish. Jordy Smith took the lead with that one.
787 here for De Souza as he started running into the wind. Big closeout, finishing hack with a lot of power. Made it look pretty impressive.
And Jordy took off right behind him and launched this, the highest scoring ride of the final, a 9.3, and a different kind of air to the ones we'd witnessed throughout the contest, Joe.
He's a bit of a showman out in this final. Then he got to let all the claims come out, punching out Adriano De Souza in a final that maybe he wasn't supposed to win, not on his home court. He broke the curse, and Jordy Smith is back in the world title race here in 2013.